Today we're going to just talk about our pre-built and block scheduling and our experiences in Hawaii. And as you know, we're an island state. We are a 10 campus system. We have one research doctoral university, 2 comprehensive campuses, and 7 community colleges across 4 islands. We have 59,000 students, and we're primarily a commuter campus. And we have no major ethnic racial group, and every institution of ours is designated as a native Hawaiian serving institution. For us, like you, we all have goals about, our goal is 55% of our Hawaii's working age adult to have a 2 or 4 year degree by the year 2025. We've increased our number of degrees and certificates awarded in the past 5 years by 27%. But as you can see, by the 43%, that's the percentage of our working age adults with a degree. So we haven't made much of a movement there. Our issue, like probably other states, is the in and out migration of people. So by 2025, we figure we needed to increase our degree production by another 57,000 more degrees. So like I think many of you, and we all have program sheets, you know, the list of all our degree requirements. And very much, we had Larry Abel come and he gave us that speech here in Hawaii also. We have developed degree maps, and then we moved on to degree maps with milestones, and then we created pre-built schedules, block schedules, and certainly that helped drive our course scheduling. So we're moving on, students are on track for the first semester. And then we found interesting issues. So, okay, we're fairly decent for first semester, then what? Scheduling inefficiency. So every unit made up their own degree map, and we were advising, or we were suggesting that, you know, if you take your English and math in your first year, you know, that's a good factor in terms of increasing your graduation likelihood. So then we had everybody trying to take English 100 in the first semester, or certainly a very large percentage. And then, you know, we had these scheduling issues. And then accommodating the off-track student. Absolutely, not everyone takes 15 credits. We have 7 community colleges. They tend to attract a different population of students who have other important family and other types of obligations. And then, like everyone else, we have some limitations in our resources. So what we thought we needed was an intelligent technology platform that would accommodate all these factors. And that's what Gary, who's our technology person, is going to tell you about.
Thank you for the opportunity to present on guided pathways. This is very exciting for us. Dr. Itano did a great overview, and what I will be doing is really getting into the details of the technology that we created, the platform, and how it works. Okay, so first of all, the discovery process. Ironically, what we discovered is we are all currently capable of keeping students on track to graduation, as we do it for our student athletes. And we do it, well, basically by having student athlete to advisor ratios in the 50-to-1 range. And there's also this sort of stick effect of the NCAA eligibility criteria, which basically state in order to play the sport competitively, you need to stay academically on track. Applying the above to all the 60,000 students in the University of Hawaii, with a current advisory ratio of 450-to-1 would basically mean 800 advisors, or $62 million per year. But the important takeaway is now that we know what it takes to keep a student on track. Now it's a matter of taking that knowledge and seeing if we can synthesize it and replicate it in a technology platform. The first rendition of this platform was pre-registration for incoming freshmen. And what was critical was to start simple. By this we mean the simplest guided pathway to create is that for a first-time incoming freshmen. Then taking the simple pathway, we overlaid the advisor's knowledge, best practices, and we came up with the pre-registration system.
Yeah, right, right.
Here's an example of the system. And what we have here is a student in a BA Exploratory Business. I know you can't see much. This is a meta major, but there are 5 important components to this. And there are 5 drop-down boxes, irrespective of your major. All students are put into at least 15 credits. Each drop-down box has a different set of courses within it, depending on which major a student chooses. No drop-down box can have less than 2 course choices or more than 6 course choices. And this is from what Stan was talking about, the behavioral economics of choice. For each of the courses in the drop-down box, all available sections must be shown so students can choose when they would like to take the class. The takeaway, pre-registration is highly structured, can be completed in 5 minutes, and no matter what you choose, you will be on track, and there's no risk. Sorry, I was worried I'd get nervous, so I wrote it all down. When I submit the pre-registration, I basically get a thank you form like this, and it lets me know the schedule I chose, and more importantly, what hurdles I still need to overcome prior to the start of the fall semester. And for example, this student needs to take a chemistry placement exam. The key takeaway being that for this, all Manoa student incoming freshmen need to go through this pre-registration unless they opt out. Pre-registration is a proof of concept. Well, it works, and actually works very, very well. However, there's one large flaw. It's only for first-time incoming freshmen. And so this leads me to a very short story. Basically, I was at the state capitol downtown with Stan Jones and all my bosses in some legislative chamber. And Stan said something along the lines of, hey, can you get that pre-registration platform to work for all students, for all semesters, including transfers, et cetera, like that? And of course, my bosses agreed with him. And I remember looking around the room and seeing the TV camera rolling and thinking my wife would be watching this. So I said, sure, why not? Not knowing, of course, if it was possible or not at that time. Well, it's 18 months later now, and we know it's possible. So we'd like to show you this video, please, of the transformation.
Aloha! Welcome to the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I'm here today to chat to you about pre-registration. Before we delve into pre-registration, I'd like to share with you a little about the university and the exciting educational opportunities we provide. One of the first things you will find while attending our university is that your education is going to extend outside of the direct concentration of your major. The reason behind this is to develop complex thinking skills needed for your life after college. These skills are necessary for success in any endeavor and cannot simply be memorized and regurgitated. They come from sustained intellectual work in a wide range of ideas and perspectives, which may only be obtained by seeking knowledge outside of what you already know.
The challenge is to make college affordable for all students, and the key to this is keeping all students on track at all times. Staying on track can be represented as a graph, with semesters on the horizontal axis and progress towards the degree requirements on the vertical axis. The diagonal line then represents an on-track student. The critical takeaway point is, in order to stay on track, each and every semester the student needs to be making acceptable progress towards their degree requirements. In addition, this progress must be clearly and accurately measurable to form the student velocity. Let's take a look at some real students and their pathways toward graduation. I think the challenge is clear. Functionally, the key to staying on track is the ability to recalculate. So let's bring up the analogy of a GPS in your car. We all miss an exit or turn sometimes. However, the GPS just recalculates and finds your best path to the destination. What it does not do is tell you, you missed the exit, you're on your own now. No, it recalculates your best route forward based on a set of defined parameters. Unfortunately, with our restricted institutional budgets and high student-to-advisor ratios, we're basically telling students, you're on your own, instead of saying, 1 second please, recalculating. Here is your new optimal graduation pathway. Introducing the graduation pathway system. Here's an example of a graduation pathway. This is the default graduation pathway for a BA in History for an incoming freshman at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Within this grad pathway, we can see semesters, and within those semesters, we can see the degree requirements that would need to be completed in order to graduate. Having looked at the default pathway, let's look at an actual student in history. What you will notice first of all is, of course, it recalculates and creates a personalized grad pathway for this student, which is quite different from the default pathway. However, by scrolling down through the student's pathway, we can see that this student is still on track to graduate in 4 years. In fact, at this velocity, the student will most likely graduate in less than 4 years. This is an exceptional student. So why don't we reset their per semester pathway credits from 15 credits to 18 credits per semester and see what their new pathway to graduation looks like. As can be seen, the pathway recalculates with a default of 18 credits per semester, and it looks like they're on track to graduate in 3 years. By doing this, the student can now go on study abroad or declare a double major and still graduate in 4 years. So far, we have looked at a grad pathway for an incoming freshman. Let's look at a grad pathway for a transfer student. This transfer student has taken 2 years at another institution. However, if we scroll down, they're still on track to graduate in 4 years. So irrespective of the type of student or the type of program, structured, semi-structured, unstructured, or blocked, the graduation pathway will just recalculate to keep the student on track, just like the GPS in your car. So let's look at a student who's not going to graduate in 4 years and see if there's anything that can be done. Scrolling down, it can be seen they're going to take 4.5 years. So why don't we just take that last class and place it in the semester before? By doing this, I'm clearly violating a parameter of the pathway. The grad pathway does not want me to have more than 4 biology classes in 1 semester, so I'm going to cancel that. It's clear I don't have the knowledge of where to place classes in a pathway effectively, so why don't I just tell the pathway system to use summer school as an option and recalculate based on that. As can be seen, the student is back on track without violating any of the parameters of an optimal pathway. We believe the technology construct behind the graduation pathway system will cause a paradigm shift that will probably forever change what it means to be on track in higher ed.
Thank you, and that's our presentation for UH system.